Social media producer Tom Barnes. This is the Chicago scene, and today's Chicago scene kind of has something to do with Father's Day, fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, softball, baseball. That is synonymous with the bobbleheads. And I'm talking to Phil Sklar. How you doing, Phil?
Doing good, Tom. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for stopping by. So you are the CEO and founder of the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame, right?
Correct. Yep. And we started the Hall of Fame back in 2014 and just opened the physical museum here in the permanent location February 1st of 2019.
Yeah, so it's been kind of an interesting couple of years for you with the whole pandemic going on. You guys aren't technically open yet, right? But you're working on that plan, but you are open online, correct?
Correct. So yeah, we last day open was on March 14th, and then like everybody knows, things sort of went downhill for the pandemic, and we've been in that group of businesses that have had to close, but luckily we're able to still operate online. We've had some of our busiest months ever online, thanks in part to the Dr. Fauci bobblehead, which I think we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
yeah, wait a minute. Since you said something, there he is right there, Dr. Fauci doing his bobblehead thing. I mean, this thing, let's see if I can get the whole thing in there. Look at that. It's pretty great. And on the back, it says it all. Flatten the curve. So this one's done well for you during the pandemic, huh?
Yeah, so we released Dr. Fauci on April 1st. Leading up to that, we had gotten a few requests for him, but we also saw Dr. Fauci donuts and socks and T-shirts. And so we're like, hey, we got to honor this guy with the bobblehead. We put a pre-sale out there April 1st, and it blew up like crazy. It actually overtook Chicago's own Sister Jean as our best-selling bobblehead of all time.
Oh. So, well, they're both doing God's work, right?
They are, yeah. So Sister Jean was about 18,000 bobbleheads sold. Dr. Fauci's now over 35,000 sold, and also, has helped raise over $230,000 for the Protect the Heroes Fund to get PPE for the frontline workers over this pandemic. So definitely has had a good cause. Like Sister Jean's had a good cause as well, but definitely something that fun that people have gotten a smile from, and also are adding to their bobblehead collection or starting a bobblehead collection with.
Speaking of bobblehead collections, I have a couple back there that I have been lucky enough to get over the years. And then there's this new one. At least I think it's new. There's this one. Why don't you explain what I'm looking at, what people are seeing right here?
Yep. So that's Javi Baez riding a bear, part of the riding bobblehead series, which has been one of our most popular.
You mean riding a cub?
Riding a cub, yes. I'm
just kidding. It's a bear cub, it's the same thing.
We do have Khalil Mack riding a bear as well, but it's a little different style bear. But anyway, yeah, it's Javi is definitely one of the most popular, Cubs player right now, and putting him on a cub or bear is something that Cubs fans have enjoyed. And during this time when there's no baseball, it'll at least make you think of baseball, hopefully.
Yeah, and then we got this guy right here. This is Grandpa Rossi in his managerial glory, right?
Yes, so it's David Ross's first bobblehead as a manager. Those just came in. We thought, they'd come in for hopefully baseball season, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, David Ross, it's definitely going to be fun to watch him in the dugout once baseball returns eventually. But yeah, David Ross, another one that had a couple different bobbleheads as a player, but now it's definitely exciting as a Cubs fan to have him back in the dugout on the north side.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, when you think of like the movie The Sandlot, and that opening shot of the bobbleheads and all that's this right here. I mean, yes. It really is. My kids love it. They think, oh, Dad, look, it's the same stuff that's in The Sandlot. And it's like, win! And you also have these commemorative bobbleheads, like the Negro League bobbleheads. I'm going to hold up a box, because I think the box is really unique, and it helps tell a great story of part of baseball that that we're trying to remember and hang on to, because it's an important part of baseball. And it's this box here, and this is what one of the bobbleheads looks like. I mean, they're awesome. They're some of the best ones I've seen. So why don't you explain a little bit about these?
Yeah, so this is the actually 100th anniversary of the founding of the Negro National League. It was founded in 1920 in Kansas City, Missouri. And, as you mentioned, it's super important to keep that history alive. At a time when black players couldn't play on the same field as a white player just because of the color of their skin. And now with, the racial inequalities that we're seeing, come to the forefront again, it's now more than ever important to sort of look back and see. And the Baseball Hall of Fame has honored a lot of the players. There's about 30, just over 30 players from the Negro Leagues that are in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Most of them are included in the series. The Chicago team actually has a really strong history. The Chicago American Giants, which you just showed off, the two bobbleheads, and
Yeah,
something that we've enjoyed really learning about. I've been to the Negro Leagues Museum a couple of times in my past, and it's definitely a place to check out if you haven't been there yet.
okay, good to know. Speaking of checking things out, people can find you guys on what's the website real quick before I forget.
Yeah, so we're at bobbleheadhall.com, so bobblehead HALL.com, and we actually put up a virtual tour right after the quarantine started so people can walk through. I know we'll walk through a little bit, but go through 360 degrees up and down, zoom in a little bit so you can't see it in exact same detail as if you were here, but definitely gives somebody who might not be able to make it a great chance to see the collection and walk around the museum from the comfort of their own home.
Well, speaking of, since you said it and brought it up, why don't we take a little quick tour? You don't have to give away the whole tour that you have online, but maybe just show me a couple of the highlights real quick. You have, a couple hundred right behind you. What else what do you want to show off for us?
Yeah, so let's take a little look around. We have, I think you mentioned 6,500 unique bobbleheads on display from all different genres and periods. Right now, sort of at the non-sports section, so we have Harry Potter and Star Wars and pretty much anything you can think of non-sports related.
Let's see a couple of those. Those are fun.
Yes, comics.
What would you say is your most unique one? Did you catch what I just?
The most unique, I think, in this area is definitely the Mr. Hanky.
Oh, hello.
You see him up there, Mr. Hanky, Christmas Pooh. Yeah, definitely a unique one. But yeah, there's so many unique ones. We have a 7-foot Vladimir Guerrero bobblehead of him in his minor league uniform that actually just arrived over quarantine. We put him over here for now, but
who doesn't need a giant 7-foot tall Vladimir Guerrero bobblehead, right?
Exactly, yes. We have several different featured bobbleheads for Wisconsin. Some of the icons like Vince Lombardi and Hank Aaron, Liberace, Chris Farley down there. We have a wall where people can put their favorite up.
Yeah, what was one of the weirder ones that you said that people suggested and that you made? Or not weird, unique, weird, whatever.
Yeah, so let's see. Milverine is a Milwaukee legend. If people have visited Milwaukee, you might have heard of him, or if you know somebody here, he's up here several times. We actually just turned him into a bobblehead. He's like the Milwaukee's version of Milverine. So that was.
Oh yeah, do you have one handy that you can show us?
Yeah, let's go find him.
How big is this space since you're walking through it?
Yeah, we're about 44,000 square feet. We packed the bobbleheads in pretty good. But we also have a map where people can put a pin where they visited from.
Oh, that's fun.
So we've had visitors from all 50 states, and then behind there's an international map that slides out. We have visitors from about 25 different countries as of last count. A lot of different panels that talk more about each different section.
Okay.
We have our regional section that actually leads into the local section. So we sort of started at the back, but we have a big selection of Blackhawks, Bulls, Bears, and we'll see the Cubs in a second. And then some of the big guys up there. So 3-foot tall Benny the Bull, Staley, or Tommy Hawk. Staley's over there, Clark, and Southpaw. So definitely great representation for the Chicago teams.
Yeah.
Here's all the Cubs.
Rightfully so up in Milwaukee. I'm sure there's a big Brewers section too. So I'm.
There is, yes. The Brewers are bigger, but the Cubs we do have prominently displayed. We also have the White Sox as well.
Yeah, we can't forget about the White Sox. Do you have any Shoeless Joe bobbleheads?
Yeah, I think so. Where is he? I think.
Sorry, I just randomly asked
by a minor league team several years ago.
Pulling on the heartstrings of the Field of Dream fans.
Yes, and we've worked with Field of Dreams. We did some bobbleheads for them. So if anybody makes it out to Dyersville, you'll see bobbleheads in their gift shop produced by
really?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that.
That's another must-see spot in the Midwest and in the U.S. in general.
And what made you want to do the bobblehead thing?
Yeah, so it started out as a personal collection. I guess we can go over to the history timeline over here and see the first bobblehead. But yeah, it was a personal collection that grew a little bit out of control. And then we also started producing bobbleheads. And that really led to the formation of the museum.
I see. Do you remember your first bobblehead?
Yeah, so the first one's over here. The lighting is a little bit poor right now because we don't have all the lights on, which I can go turn them on it.
No, it's all right. I see.
Okay.
I make it out if you just hold it for. It's like a bird or a.
Yeah, so it's actually his name is Rocco the Riverhawk from the Rockford Riverhawks. So.
Oh yeah, the old minor league baseball team, right?
Yes. Yep. Now they're the Rockford Rivets, but yeah, that's where Brad, the other co-founder, was working as an intern in 2003 when they gave away the bobblehead. He got one. We were both going to school at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee at the time, and thought, hey, let's go to some games and grow the collection. And before we knew it, it was sort of out of control.
Oh, are these Hall of Fame ones? Sorry, now you're distracting the Hall of Fame.
Sorry. Yeah, these are the newer series of Hall of Fame players. You got Sandberg, Jenkins, awesome. And Williams there. Some of the other legends like Reggie Jackson. There's Frank Thomas.
Got any Babe Ruth?
Yes, Babe Ruth is well represented in bobblehead form.
I figured. I mean, we were just talking about the Sandlot earlier. That made me remember that.
Yep. So there's actually one that the Cubs gave away from the called shot.
Oh yeah, they don't like to talk about it unless it benefits them.
Yes, right. And there's another one.
Is that Jeter?
There's Jeter and then Ruth next to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have like bands like rock and rollers, like an Elvis one or like an Elton John playing a crazy piano or something like that?
Yep. So we're playing a little bit of a treasure hunt here, but I can take.
Sorry, I'm throwing you for a loop. I apologize. We didn't talk about this before.
Luckily, I know where everything is, so for the most part. But yeah, here's a lot of the musicians. Elvis has several of them up there. Michael Jackson, Jimi Hendrix. A lot of the
outstanding
musicians, current musicians, haven't had a bobblehead. Yeah, there's still more work to be done. Kiss, NSYNC.
So how does it work? I mean, how do you get permission to make these bobbleheads when it's a real person? Like besides baseball, because I know baseball, that's kind of been synonymous with bobbleheads. But like like a movie person or a band, you just go to them and ask and kind of work out the details.
Yep, that's basically how it works. And there's a couple other companies out there that also produce bobbleheads. So, we have our interests that we sort of focus on. But yeah, there's so many different bobbleheads out there. We're working on a lot of new ones as we speak that'll be coming out, over the next months, and even sometimes they take a year or more to develop. And so it's always a fun process, sometimes a challenge to get in contact with the people. We did a series of Home Alone bobbleheads a couple of years ago, and those.
Yes, my kids are big fans of those.
Tricky to get all the licensing and. Yes, yeah, and we had Macaulay Culkin actually come visit just randomly the year when we first opened. I was doing a social media video and ended up stopping by the museum. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
There we go.
There he is. Yeah, and then the Harry and Marv. Yeah, and you even got the Wizard of Oz cast up there. You guys have a ton.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty. Pretty limitless in terms of what has been covered by bobbleheads, but yeah, there's just so many. different categories, different characters, and it's definitely a lot of fun. It, keeps us busy, and it's fun hearing visitors go by and, regardless of age, seeing all these different people or characters that they know and just having a great time.
Well, Phil, I definitely need to come out there when everything reopens and do this live with you there, and we can go over it a little bit more. But until then, you guys have a website. Why don't you say it again real quick for people who might want to purchase a Father's Day gift?
Yeah, so bobbleheadhall.com is the website, and there's a link right there to the store, and we have thousands of different bobbleheads available for purchase, and also gift cards if you're running a little late. Our shipping to Chicago only takes a couple days, so you can still get it in time if you order now. But otherwise, gift cards are a great way to go, or bring Dad up to the museum when we reopen.
All right, I look forward to coming up there. I wish you guys nothing but the best, and I cannot wait to see what new ones you have coming out this year. I love the ones that you've made. I mean, they're fantastic. The Cubs ones in particular, the Bears, because I'm a Chicago guy. But even I look forward to some of the more like the Fauci. Where's the Fauci? Right here. This is fantastic. Just for people who just want to remember this phase in our lives in a kind of tongue-in-cheek way. It's a great way to do so. So thank you, Phil. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. Have a great day. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.